Welcome back to the Objectively Bad Podcast, everyone. My name is Chad. I'm here with my co-host Dan,
Hi.
and we're here to talk once again about stuff because we kind of like the format of the last episode, and hopefully you guys did too. So we're gonna try this again.
I love the riveting intro of we're going to talk about stuff and just
Yeah.
expect people to be interested in that.
I mean, people like stuff.
Yeah. Doubling down doesn't make it any better.
I'm doubling down on it.
Okay. Well,
I'm going in.
I haven't written down any stuff because I am
Good start.
busy at the moment working on a video and nothing else is entering my mind. Like I don't have
Do you want to?
time
You want to
think.
talk about Twitch streaming?
I could a little bit. I didn't stream last weekend because I've been again working on the video, but I have been doing it a bit recently.
Sure.
Been trying to switch the format of the videos I make recently. So a lot of the favorite content creators that I watch will make videos by live streaming it and then editing it down. But not just like they don't just go on live stream, talk about random shit and make a video. They'll go in with the idea of a specific video, live stream with the audience, and then once that recording or stream is done, cut it down into an actual condensable video. And that's what I've been trying to do recently. I did it with the Diamond Casino Heist video, and I'm currently working on a video that is not stolen, but commandeered.
Commandeered?
That's the word.
What are you, a pirate?
I fucking wish. The One Piece I want to.
That'd be cool.
Sorry. I'm a
right.
bit too addicted to it. No. One of the bigger YouTuber streamers, Ludwig, he has a very common phrase called the yoink and twist, which is basically take someone else's idea and put a little twist on it and do it as your own.
Sure. That's art.
Yeah, that's what art is. It's taking someone else's ideas and making your own thing of it. So he and a bunch of other YouTubers have done videos saying like, I tried your dumb ideas. Ludwig did it in Chest. There's a YouTuber that did it in Skyrim. I'm doing it in GTA. So I asked my viewers for a bunch of like silly ideas and challenges, streamed it for a while, and now I'm editing it. And I don't know if I talked
Nice.
about it in the last podcast. I think I may have talked about doing it, but I hadn't done it at that point or
I
something.
think you did talk about doing it.
Yeah, but I'm currently...
So I think we talked about some of the really horrifying ones.
Yeah, and I nearly threw up from the final challenge. It was
Yeah.
nauseating. So yeah, I'm currently editing that. It's looking like it's going to be like an hour and a half plus video. Because the
Whoa.
first,
How many hours of raw content do you have?
like 12, 13.
Oh god.
Which isn't the most I've had, but
That's-
it's like the most.
a lot.
The most I've had was like 22 hours, but of the 22 hours, half of it was me just grinding without speaking like at all, pretty much. This one is like 12
Sure, so
hours
it's
of
pretty
speaking
easy.
because I'm live streaming.
Oh.
So like having to cut all that is really difficult, and I made a tweet about it, but like having to distinguish between like my video commentary that helps progress the video along in its story and me just speaking with Twitch chat is very difficult to get the right balance of. Because like if I leave something out in Twitch that I said and then I have a joke about it later and it's like, oh, what the fuck did he mean by that in the video? It's a very like confusing process and it's very different from like regular recording. But it's really fun to do because it's a different style of content. I have my face cam in there. I have Twitch chat that can make jokes for me, which is, less work.
do your
for
work
me.
for you.
Exactly. So that's pretty fun.
nice.
But yeah, I'm currently like sitting at like 50 minutes edited through my first phase. First phase is just doing like the raw cut, and then I go back and do like effects, music, and stuff. But it's gonna be a long video because the first four, so I have 5 challenges. The first 4 challenges was 4 hours of streaming, and then the 5th challenge was 5 hours. Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
rough.
so the 5th challenge alone is gonna be painful.
What was the challenge, or do we have to wait until you actually put it out?
No, this will be up after the video. The
Okay,
challenge
cool.
was
What is
doing Kaya Perico, which is the solo heist in GTA.
Yes.
Doing it with only using the Faggio scooter for transport. Using a base pistol for
God.
combat. I could only use the base pistol, nothing else. I had to do the plane entrance, which I've never done before, so that was just kind of just to make it more difficult for me because I didn't know what I was doing. I had to do it in
Yeah.
first person, which is notoriously a bit more difficult to handle in GTA. The first person controls aren't the best. And also do it while my screen is rotated 180 degrees, so I was like upside down and backwards.
Did you ever consider? Do you ever find yourself tilting your head?
I did it once when there was a hack on the Kaipurka Island to like find out what loot there is, and the hack is doing math. So it's basically doing like they give you a number and you have to make that number out of 3 different numbers and like multiplications.
Yeah.
And the numbers I got was 5, 2, and 5. So when I was looking at it upside down, I was really fucking confused because 2 and 5 look the same.
Oh, because they look the same.
So I was so confused what the fuck was going on. So I had to be like, that was the only time I did it. But no, it was awful though. Like I said, I nearly threw up like multiple times towards the end because it was just so nauseating from doing it. I was sitting in a hot room. I can't open my window because otherwise the mic quality will like be fucked. So I'm sitting in like this hot, stuffy room looking at this upside down the whole entire time, like just like losing my fucking mind. It was great.
Beautiful. When you take breaks, do you like... You did take breaks, right?
I took one 10-minute break about 2 hours in, and all I did was open a window and lean out it and breathe for 10 minutes. And then I was back to it.
Do you like leave your Twitch channel? Or are you just like, I'll be back in 10 minutes and it's just like the background?
I just put like a be right back screen and some music on.
Okay.
But yeah, and then after the stream, I think I mentioned this last time, but after the stream, I wanted to go outside to get some fresh air, but it was 38 degrees, so I went down to a fucking oven. So it was a good session. I felt good.
Beautiful. It sounds like it was somewhat fun. I guess.
I think it's good content. I don't know if I'd want to do it again personally.
All right, that's fair. But see, here's the problem, Dan. If it's good content, you're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I know. That's
the beauty of it.
I just hope the video does somewhat well. Otherwise, all that pain will be for nothing. We'll see though. It'll be out this weekend or a few days ago at this point.
Nice. Yeah, I had a glimpse into your life last night because I am like 200,000 off in GTA from getting whatever the arena thing is, the like workshop.
Oh, the vehicle weapon workshop in the arena.
Yeah, because 2 heists ago, when we did the Doomsday heist, I got the Batmobile. Is it the Avenger? No, it's not
Vigilante.
Vigilante, yes. I got that, and I'm like, awesome. And then you're like, oh yeah, by the way, you need to spend more money to get like missiles and all that stuff. I'm like, cool, awesome. Then we did another heist, and then I was like, oh, I'm not that far away. Rockstar also gave me a cool like 188,000.
Yep, same.
For logging in, which I'm sure you're aware of.
I can't remember what it was for. It was for something. I can't remember what it was.
Was it like Chinese New Year or something?
I think so, yeah. It was Year of the Dragon, I think.
Yeah, because I think in the Diamond Casino heist, that was the newest one. I was wearing the little dragon mask.
Right, yeah,
it's pretty cool. So I got a bit of money. So it was like 200K off. So I'm like, okay, I'll do some like vehicle missions just to like get it out of the way.
Bro, stuck in 2015.
Like, I can wind down for the night. Well, yeah, I don't have all this stuff for like Cayo Perico. I should probably do that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't play GTA enough to do it, so I don't feel like it. It was horrible. It was just 2 bad instances, but it was like the first one was fine. As I was bringing it back to my warehouse, it just blew up. Like someone killed me, and I'm like, okay, whatever, that happens. I didn't really lose any money. So I'm like, I was stupid. I was like, I'll open a private server. It'll be great. I hate how it works. Because you steal a car, and then the people you stole the car from, just bots, just shoot the car.
Yep.
And you lose money.
Yep.
It's stupid.
Yep.
And then that was fine. I was like, I lost a bit of money. It's whatever. Trying to sell it was awful because they spawned like almost immediately on my like 1.5 mile trip and just shot my tires out.
You understand now.
It was awful. I hated it so much.
GTA Online
every time I died, I was like resisting throwing my controller.
Yep. And the thing is, those missions aren't even close to the most aggravating. They're up there, but
no, they're not even the worst.
There are some worse ones. I think the worst. I'm trying to think. The worst mission I had in terms of difficulty was probably you obviously have the Diamond Casino heist, but you also have casino missions. So they're missions. Once you buy a penthouse, you get specific casino missions through a lady called Miss Agatha Baker, aka my girlfriend. is what
Okay.
is what I know her as in GTA. And
Okay.
one of the final missions there was just unbelievably difficult for some reason. I think you're supposed to really do it with multiple people. It's like helpful to do it with multiple people, but I did it by myself, obviously, and it's just I don't even know what was difficult about it. It was just an absurd amount of enemies, helicopters that would shoot fucking rockets, so you couldn't, even if you're in an armored crewman, they'd just blow you up.
Yeah.
And then once you're done with all those enemies, so like I did it in one video. I did that final mission, and I kept dying at the very end because there was just so many enemies. So I gave up.
Yeah.
Like I rage quit and did it for the next video. So I got through all those enemies, killed the helicopters after trials and tribulations of having to come up with a fucking strategy. And then once all that was done, there was more to the mission. It kept going.
Oh god.
So like then you had to follow a swarm of helicopters that would still shoot rockets at you and shoot down like one of them to like collect something and then drive it back while they're still attacking you. It was so much.
Oh god.
And I was nearly losing my goddamn mind. I bought the Vigilante for that mission, and then the Vigilante got blown up within like 5 minutes.
Of course.
So I was just like, fuck it. My strategy, I literally ran to the top of a fucking hill and just sniped people because I was like, I can't do anything else.
That's horrible.
But that was terrible. Oh, also, some other missions.
Oh.
The missions.
Oh, how much? Wait, I got a quick question for you. How much money do you get from that mission?
Oh, like 15K.
Go, so nothing.
I think when you finish,
So it wasn't worth
finish
it at
all
all.
the missions for the first time, you get like 200K or something as like a set bonus.
That's still.
But the mission alone is like nothing.
That sucks.
Yeah, it
That still.
you're
sucks.
doing it for the story. You're not doing it for the cash. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
garbage. The other missions that I did, they were also in Broke to Ball in my series. I think I did it on like episode 3 or 4. It was really early on. They're not inherently difficult, but they're missions for the nightclub where you have to get resupply like crates. And you basically, some of the missions you have to go to a boat because the crates are on like a boat at the docks. And I'd fly over there on my oppressor and land on it, but for some reason the oppressor interacts with the boat in a really strange way. So sometimes you'll like glitch and won't be able to get back on it. So I spent like 4 hours just getting killed in this fucking boat because I couldn't get on my bike and I was just losing my goddamn mind. It's awful.
I think I remember that episode.
Yeah, it was not fun at all. I was losing it. And then one time the crate just despawned. I was like, fuck this. I just got off the game.
Yeah.
It's painful.
GTA is so janky.
It really is.
Fingers crossed to GTA 6 not being as janky.
We can hope.
You played Red Dead 2, right?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Well, then I was talking to someone else about it. Never mind. I have no idea if Red Dead like feels as janky as GTA or not.
Me neither. Everyone's telling me to play it.
Cool.
And I might at some point, but
Cool. Well, I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never turn it to Kanye. Only in that way, not in any other way.
Oh, yeah, no.
Did you see?
Cut to us getting canceled.
I saw something recently. I think he made a tweet recently or something of saying his iPhone 15 is slow as shit.
I'm scared.
I think he tweeted that recently, but his iPhone being bad. I'm like, he's gonna make a fucking phone now, isn't he? Like, Kanye's next thing is gonna start a fucking tech company. Kanye's gonna partner up with Elon Musk to make a new iPhone.
There we go. That sounds about right. It's gonna do facial scan, and if you're like, just yell slurs at you.
If you download Taylor Swift,
just
your
like
phone
awful.
just blows up.
Yeah. If you say anything bad about the Cybertruck, it just blows up.
blows up. Speaking of Taylor Swift, though, she was in Melbourne recently.
Oh yeah,
she was in Melbourne for
she was all over the place.
She's on a world tour. Yeah, but she was in Melbourne for 3 days recently. And I could see the lights from the stadium. Like, I was out on a walk, I could see the lights in the sky, like, flashing and shit. So the stadium, the MCG, it's one of the biggest arenas in the world, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And she had a audience of 96,000, which was the biggest she's ever had.
Damn.
Like, period.
Damn.
Because, obviously, they had the seats, but there was also people, like, standing on the ground as well. So you had an audience floor. But the funny thing about this is that there was a TikTok going around of I think it was a plane doing like an aerial view of the stadium. It was also in the daytime, which was weird. Like half the concert was during the day and then it went into the night, which to me is really strange because every concert I've been to is at night. So it's weird seeing like
they all start at like 7 at the earliest.
Yeah, it's an open arena. So like the concert, they're just like in the broad daylight, which was really strange to me.
Yeah.
But it was an aerial view of that. And on TikTok, it went a little bit viral. Maybe it was viral in Australia, but it went a little bit viral. And the biggest thing that was in the comments was Americans being like, "Where's the parking? How did they get there?" Because at the MCG, the main parking is like the parking there is like you park on like a little paddock, so it's like a grass field next to it if you have a car. But otherwise, there's a train station right next to the stadium. There's trams, and you can also just walk to it. It's very close to the city. And all these Americans are like, where's the parking? How did they get there? So all these Australians are fucking reposting it on TikTok, being like, guys, I know in America, every stadium you have is surrounded by like 17,000 car parks, but in Australia, we have a thing called public transport. Crazy thought.
Wild idea.
So then I went on like a little binge of like looking at American stadiums, and I knew that American stadiums had like car parks around them, but you forget how ridiculous it is until you actually look at it. It's like you have a stadium, and then you have like a 3 times the size perimeter around it that's just car parks. It's insane.
Yeah, that's about right. Some stadiums, it's weird because like stadiums aren't for the most part in the middle of a city.
Yeah, they're usually out a bit.
Kind of. They're usually at least out a bit. I know like the Kansas City one I have driven to, and it's just like I have no idea where I am. Right. And I lived there. So I'm like, I don't know where it's just the middle, not the middle of nowhere because it's not that far. And like they have buses that'll go there, but it's not really that great. Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's why you get the whole culture in America of like people having like barbecues in the back of their car and shit. Like,
it's a good time. See that in tailgating is a good time.
That's what it's called. Yeah, you always see it in movies and stuff. And like, that just doesn't happen here like at all.
It happens for 2 reasons. A, you gotta park. So if you go early, you get good parking or any parking. Yep. And also the food in that stadium is gonna be so expensive.
Yeah.
So you can like chill and play like hacky sack, like cornhole. Could play hacky sack, I guess. You know, you bring a football with you and you toss that around, and you know you drink and someone brings a grill. It's a pretty good time.
Yeah,
I'll admit that. But yeah, public transport not really that existent here.
Yeah,
I mean it kind of is.
Well, I see.
Not to the extent.
And not to keep hating on like some Americans' point of views. I know it's not all Americans, but it's the vocal ones on social media. I see a lot of them say like, we can't have public transport in America. I saw one comment, and this was the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I can't quote it word for word, but it was something along the lines of, we can't have public transport in America because imagine having a train going from like New York to Texas. Then how the fuck you can, or like from New York to Austin, Texas. If you have a train going from New York to Austin, how are you going to get around Austin? I'm like, other trains, what? I generally saw a comment like that.
I understand.
I was like, do you know how
that's
do you know how Europe works? They have like trains between cities, and then each city also has their own train network.
I can semi understand the like cross continental.
I get that.
Because because LA to New York is probably like Paris to somewhere in Russia.
Yeah,
that is a pretty insane. Yeah. However, if people who are like, oh, we can't have public transport in our cities, shut up. Yes, you can.
Yeah, and even like within states,
like you might have to spend $1 billion. Like it probably will cost money, but so does everything.
It would also help the environment. It would help people get from A to B easier. Like people complain about LA traffic so much. You know a good way to fix that? Have an underground rail system
put a subway in LA. Yeah. The fact that there might be a subway in LA, but it's like really
there might be. I don't remember there being one when I was there. There's buses.
Because like to be fair, there is a lot of cities do have some amount of public transport, but it's just so bad that like no one really
like New York's
the
best city for it, right? In America.
Yeah, New York probably has the most. Technically, LA has the Metro Rail. But I just don't think it's that big.
No, it's not very popular.
And it's probably like just downtown. Anyone in LA, tell us if we're wrong. I don't think it's that big. Like I think Denver has like one line of a tram, and that tram line's great if you're on it.
It's also
you probably
for
are.
America as well. It's not just the actual infrastructure; it's kind of the culture around it. Like the American has a very big driving car culture. And Australia does as well. Australia's kind of an in-between of Europe and America. Like, we have public transport, but we're also quite car-centric once you get to the suburbs. But like things I don't get, like in a city transport is really good, but like say why can't America have like a speed railway line that goes from San Francisco to LA to San Diego? Like I'm sure that would be really
I don't
useful for
know.
people.
That'd be
A
really
lot
useful.
of
People would use
a
it.
lot of people would go from like San Diego or from LA to San Francisco through that area a
Yeah.
lot. Or you could even take
Yeah.
it
You make a high speed rail too.
exactly.
Like,
Or you could do one from like New York, goes down through New Jersey, goes down under the water, down to like North Carolina, down to Florida. Like stuff like that would be
yeah.
very. Australia has the same
like an East
problem.
Coast.
There is a train line that goes from, I think it might start in Brisbane, which is in Queensland, and goes through Sydney to Melbourne. But the issue with it is that it's so old and like inefficient that it's actually faster to drive than to take the train.
That's the other thing is there are actually trains that go across
They're just
the
like
country.
shit.
Like Amtrak exists and it does go. Like I think I've taken it. God, ages ago I did like an East Coast trip. And I did Boston, New York, DC,
Mhm.
and then probably Florida. And we took a train, I think, from Boston to New York.
Yeah.
It's doable. They have them. I think they're like probably kind of expensive.
Yeah, they'd be expensive, but they're
Maybe.
not as fast as they could be.
They're not talked about either. is
That
the
as
thing.
well, yeah, exactly. Especially compared to like
Um,
Europe or like Japan or something where like train culture and doing that is like very common. Like when I went to Vienna from Munich, you take the train, it's 3 hours, but it's pretty chill. You have decent legroom, you have a table, it's cheaper than a flight. It's
Yeah.
nice. I actually enjoy taking train trips as well because like it's more. It's usually with like the ice trains in Europe, you have like a 4-seater with a table in between. So if you go with friends, it's not like on a plane where you're stuck in this cramped 3-seater facing forward. You can like face each
Mhm.
other and like if you can put your laptop on a table, get work done. It's like a much nicer experience. And there's usually like better facilities in there as well. There's always like free Wi-Fi on there, whereas on planes you usually have to pay
Mhm.
for it. It's a nice experience. You also get to see the countryside more when you take a train compared to a plane ride, which I appreciate.
Yeah, train rides are really nice.
It's one big thing
We,
in Australia that we need to fix as well. Like Melbourne has the best public transport in Australia, I'd say, but there's no train to the airport, which is really weird.
Oh, trains to the airport are really cool.
Yeah,
They should.
there's only a bus to the airport in Melbourne. There's been plans. I'm really into Melbourne public transport at the moment, but there's been plans to make an
get into it.
airport line, like train line, since the 80s. And they keep
Oh my
not doing it
God.
because the government keeps changing and they keep changing the plans, which is really annoying.
That sounds about
So
right.
instead of making a train line to the airport, instead they're doing a 100 million or $1 billion project to make like an outer loop that's like around the like outskirts of the city for some reason. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be useful, but apparently it's going to take 50 years. So I won't be here by then, I don't think.
Yeah.
Just
All right, so here's a fun one. I looked up Boston to New York on Amtrak. It's like the same price as a flight.
Oh.
And it's 3 times longer.
yeah, so see that's not great.
So why wouldn't you just fly?
Yeah.
I guess you got to go through the airport,
Mm.
but still.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You need to make trains because they're obviously going to be longer than. Well, they don't have to be longer. I think in Japan, like the bullet trains there are close to being.
Dude, they're so
They're,
fast.
they're very close to being like as efficient as. Well, no, I think in Japan, if you're taking like a train from Tokyo to Osaka compared to a plane, it's probably faster because you don't have to go to the airport. Like it's probably quicker just to hop on a train, get there, get off, and just be there instead of having to go through the fucking airport hell. Because I know in Japan, fucking, I'm trying to remember the Tokyo airport. Is it Harada? It's something. The airport in Tokyo.
Sure.
It's the most populous. It's one of the biggest
no
cities in the
idea.
world. It's hell. Like it's not going to be a fun airport.
Yeah.
So like, just going to the train station is much easier. What is the airport called? Narita.
The train
No, it
stations,
is-
you kind of just
it is
walk in
Haneda.
for the most part.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. There's our public transportation rant for the day.
Yeah. I'm a big car hater,
that
to be
we
honest.
didn't. I agree. Like it's nice
Yeah.
being in a car.
I think.
But if I had a train that took or like a subway that took me into work every day, I'd probably
Yeah.
take
Like if
it.
you could give me a car, I'd have it. I wouldn't be like no filth, but like for a lot of people in city situations, it's kind of unnecessary. And I think the world would be a better place if they were more unnecessary in cities. Like, I always look at... I was watching... This is a bit tangential, but I was watching a fantasy anime yesterday.
Okay.
An isekai. So, do you know what that means, Chad?
Sure. I know the word. I recognize the word.
It means isekai is the...
I'm not looking
sure you are.
at all.
Is a Japanese word for, like, another world. Like, a different world. So the basic concept is that someone will die and be reborn in a fantasy world or some shit.
We've had the discussion.
Yeah, so I was watching a show on that yesterday, and like most fantasy shows are based on like medieval Europe or like 1600s Europe. They're mostly very Germanic in their style of buildings and towns. But you look at the towns and it's like it's cobblestone streets. There's no cars around. People can just walk around town to stalls and different stores and everything. And it's really, like, Munich is quite similar to that. There's a lot of areas in Munich where there's no roads. You just walk around. And it's a much nicer environment than having a giant fucking highway through the middle of your city or something.
More lanes, baby.
Brings the community together. You can, like, it's more chill. You don't have to worry about getting hit by a New York taxi or something. It's great. Because I remember when I went to...
But that's a part of the culture, Dan.
When I went to New York, my mom nearly got killed.
You almost get hit and you go, hey, I'm walking here. And then you keep going on with your life.
I remember my mom nearly got killed within like 15 minutes of landing because she was just like, it was nighttime. She nearly walked in front of a taxi. It was her right of way because she's a pedestrian, but they don't give a fuck.
Oh, you think anyone has right of way there? That's cute.
Yeah, true.
That also sounds like your mom.
I also nearly...
I like your mom. She's great.
I also nearly got hit by a car the other day as well.
Oh,
that was it was my bad though. So how do I explain this? I was walking home. And so the street I was going across had two sections to it. There was a part that was for trams, and then there's a little like pedestrian section where you stand.
Okay.
And then there's the actual road. So I click the signal. I click the button to like get the walking signal to get across. What I didn't realize is that when the walking signal comes on, it only comes on for the tram section first and then the street section later. I thought it came on for both at once.
That makes sense.
Which I thought would make logic because they're on the same pathway.
That makes logical sense.
So I started walking, and obviously it was for the tram. So I was like, okay, I'm fine. And then the cars on the actual road part were still stopped. And because I thought I already saw the green man on like the first part of the street, I was like, I'm fine. And the cars weren't going, so I was like, I'm fine. So I was walking, and I got halfway across, and then I looked up and realized, oh, the green man's not on for this part. So I tried to rush across as fast as I could before the green light went on for the cars. But the green light went on about halfway, and I was like, I'm halfway across the street. I'm basically in front of a car. I'm not going to stop now and turn back. It's more awkward.
You just got to book it.
So I just kept going. I was like, the first car, there was two cars side by side. The first one, I was like, I'm sorry, he didn't go. But then the next one didn't fucking like see me properly. Because I am in the wrong. I was fully in the wrong, but like, they still should be like looking. And also, they weren't like they were from a stop starting. They weren't like already going.
Yeah.
So from a stop, they didn't see me and like nearly hit me. I was completely in the wrong, but you should still have some awareness to be like, okay,
true.
I'm gonna have some amount of fucking peripheral vision to make sure no one's coming.
Yeah,
so that's fun.
I will say. A lot of times when I'm driving, I'm on autopilot. That's not to say I'm going to hit it.
No, I don't blame the person for it.
But I think if I see green light, I'm like, green light, go.
Yeah, I completely get it as well.
Monkey brain.
But I was more annoyed at the light system than the people. Because like that light system, it doesn't...
Yeah.
It's a bit strange that you'd have like... Because like the tram section was like 2 meters. Or more than 2 meters, like 5 meters. And the road was like 20 meters. So it was like, it wasn't like... It was a very long stretch of pedestrian crossing I had to get across. It was very minimal. So I was like, surely if this is green, the next part's going to be green. It wasn't. And then I just bugged up.
Fair enough.
Because also jaywalking is like a very big part of Australian culture. Like everyone does it as well.
Hell yeah.
So like a lot of times a pedestrian, as if you don't think cars are going, you just go. So that was kind of also in the back of my head.
Nice.
It's fine. It's all good. Like if you're gonna cross a road when the lights turn green for the cars, you want it to be when they're stopped, not when they're going.
True, not when they're barreling at you.
So I made a mistake, but it was at the best possible time to make a mistake. So
you're still here.
Exactly.
And that's the important part.
I think if you're still alive, it doesn't matter what you do.
Bold statement. Is that a blanket statement, Dan, or is that, or is it just situational?
No
here?
comment.
Okay, cool. What can I pull? So we've talked about Taylor Swift
Yep.
a little bit. Super Bowl happened. That was kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Do you hear anything about that?
I streamed
like,
during it.
Nice.
So I live streamed, not knowing it was on, and everyone was in my Twitch chat like, "Sorry, Dan, Super Bowl's on. I'm gonna go watch that." I was like, right, that thing. Okay,
Nice.
okay. So
Nice.
let me try and don't tell me anything. Let me try and recall what happened because I have no fucking idea.
Recall what happened. Yes.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
That's the team.
Uh-huh.
Is that the one that Taylor Swift's boyfriend plays for?
Yes. Can you name him?
Travis Kelce.
That's the one. Good job. We're doing good so far.
Does Mahomes play for that team as well?
Yes,
Patrick
he does.
Mahomes,
He's the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're the only players I know. All I know is Patrick Mahomes is going to be better than.
That's all you need to know.
He's going to be better than Tom Brady.
Yeah, there you
Do you
go.
think he is?
Okay, yeah. They're very different quarterbacks.
Okay.
People are making the comparison because, like, right now, so from like in the 2000s and the 2010s, for roughly, I don't know, 18 years ish. I don't have an exact timeline on this. The Patriots were like, they would go to the Super Bowl like every
Who are
other
from
year, if not
New
like
England?
New England, which is basically
Hey,
Boston.
I guessed it. Let's go.
I guess. I actually don't remember where their stadium is. I think it's around Boston.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. The Patriots would go all the time. Tom Brady won like 6 Super Bowls. He did lose some.
6 rings, and he kisses his son.
6 rings. He's got 7 rings.
Oh.
Because he's got 1 with the Bucks. Shout out Tampa. My family's from Tampa, so I got root for the
But he
Bucks.
kisses his son, right?
He does
that's
kiss
a
his
meme?
son on the lips. That is a big meme.
Nice.
My sister sent me a meme that was like a picture of like a fake Wikipedia article talking about why football helmets were invented. Like, yeah, like they were invented and blah blah blah. And they have this mouth guard which would stop Tom Brady from kissing his teammates on the lips.
Good.
It's great. But yeah, Tom Brady won like 6 Super Bowls. Probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yep.
Kind of a weird guy, but whatever. He's a really good quarterback. Maybe he was friends with Trump. I don't know. I think Patrick Mahomes has the ability to hit his legacy. I think Tom Brady probably is better, but it's talking about people who are retired versus people who are currently
Yeah, we're
playing.
almost looking at like a Mbappe.
Ronaldo Mbappe.
Yeah, Ronaldo Mbappe, or like
Comparison?
or like a Messi Maradona when Messi was still young type talk.
Yeah. Where it's like, it's hard to say because like they could be really good for 5 years and you're like, they're on track to be the best. And then they have 10 years of being horrible.
Like Mbappe was like, I'd say at the end of the 2018 World Cup when France won, he was on track to be like, oh, he could be ridiculous. But then he stayed at PSG for like 5 seasons and now he's not respected at all. He's going to Real Madrid finally.
He's going around, but well, we say that.
Well, he's accepted terms. Like, I'm pretty sure he's like ready to go.
It sounds pretty definitive. I just feel like we've been here before, where everyone's like, he's at Madrid, like he's there, and then all of a sudden,
I think this is the most confirmed furthest point. I don't think he's ever had contracts confirmed before. Not like confirmed by like Fabrizio Romano and stuff, who's like the best football journalist.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes could be good. We'll see. And then the other team,
he is quite good.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull. Patrick Mahomes is great. He's really fun to watch because he does what I like to call scramble a lot, which is when you're like, do you know anything about American football? Okay, cool. No, that's a no. When he's going to throw the ball, a lot of times you want to hold on to that ball for a very short period of time as a quarterback. You want to like drop back a little bit, throw the football, done.
Mm-hmm.
That man will scramble. There will be like defenders coming at him and he's running and he's like jukes him out. And then mid tackle, he's throwing like a sideways like throw that somehow makes it to the receiver.
Right.
It's pretty impressive. But yeah, keep retelling me about the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so the other team was San Francisco.
Yes. What is
the 49ers?
What is their name? There you go.
So this is also a bit tangential, but I saw a clip of KSI, the big YouTuber man. He was also retelling the Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes is a Prime Athlete, which is the company that drinks.
Okay. Of course he is. That sounds
that
about
KSI
right.
and Logan like not own, but like are the faces of. So he was watching it because of that, and then he was retelling it to the other Sidemen. And he was saying, like, they were trying to get him to name the teams. And he was like, the San Francisco Niners. And they were like, yeah, what? He's like, the 99ers? I was like, come on, dude. Yeah, the San Francisco 49ers, they lost.
Yes.
That's all I can say.
Cool.
I don't really know how the scoring works. I know that it's similar to rugby. Like, you get points for going to the end zone. You get points for kicking.
Yep.
I know that games are usually relatively low scoring. Like, it's not like 70s and 80s. It's like...
Not normally.
It's like...
Don't
14
there
to
were a
7.
couple big ones. Yeah, that's kind of a lower scoring game.
What was the score?
Oh, God.
You don't know. Fake America.
I don't know.
Damn.
I only kind of watched... Well, I was working through like half of it. It was like 25 to 26. 25 to 22.
That's pretty close.
I was close. It's pretty close. So they actually went to overtime.
Okay.
So I thought the Super Bowl was really boring. Because as a neutral fan, everyone wanted not this Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard from Jev, another YouTuber. He supports the Eagles, and he says like he doesn't want any. He doesn't want anyone to win.
Yeah,
because they're both like, from what I've heard, they're both like fucking big super teams that no one likes, and they just both got in the final. They're like, can they both lose, please?
So the Chiefs are like they've gone. I think out of the past like 6 years, have gone to like 5 Super Bowls,
right,
or like 4 or something like that. Like they just keep.
They're
going,
like Man City with the Prem.
and
They just keep fucking.
It's slowly losing its excitement. And the 49ers kind of not as much, but yeah, are kind of just like bit of a super team, and no one's really like, oh my God, I want them to win. I wanted the Detroit Lions and Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl because the Detroit Lions are like very classically shit. It's like if Everton went to the Super Bowl.
That would be weird considering
they'd lose.
Considering Everton
they'd lose because they don't have enough players for it.
They also don't play American football.
No, they don't. It'd be really bad.
I think you mean if Everton went to like the Champions League final.
No. I mean the Super Bowl.
Okay. So you're saying Everton?
No, I mean the Champions
A
League
Premier League football side has as much chance of winning the Super Bowl as the Detroit Ravens.
Detroit Lions.
Fuck. Baltimore Ravens?
You mixed them.
Yep, okay.
Baltimore Ravens. I wanted that because it was more interesting because like the Lions are just kind of always bad and they had a really good year. Also, fun fact, the homicide rate in Detroit went down. And a lot of people are like, it's because Detroit's good at football again.
It's honest. That's probably not a bad like reason.
There's a chance.
We've seen like there's like general like stats showing that like when big football events go on in countries, or like when countries win football tournaments, their crime goes down massively.
Yeah, because people are happy.
People just like when Argentina
Monkey
won the
brain
World Cup,
activates, and it's.
I'm sure the crime won't run down for a while.
I could see it.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Now that birth rate shot up.
Birth rate, yeah, that goes up, sure.
Oh yeah, I actually think that is the thing that happens too.
Yeah, no, it would be.
But yeah, it wasn't that interesting. They went to overtime. The San Francisco 49ers didn't know the rules to overtime, and I don't blame them because I didn't either. Because overtime rules are really weird.
But they're professionals.
Because it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of golden goal-ish. It's like you both get a chance to score a touchdown. It used to be, the problem is they change overtime all the time.
Okay.
It used to be that it was just, if you scored a touchdown first, you won.
Okay.
It's not the case anymore.
Right.
So they ended up going first, scored a field goal, and then the Chiefs scored a touchdown, and then the game was over and they won. And it was boring. And it's whatever. Usher did the halftime show.
He felt up. Who was it that performed
Alicia
with him?
Keys.
That one, yep.
It's Alicia Keys, yeah.
Yep.
It was fun. I had a good time. One of my coworkers is like a little bit older, and he was hyped because like Usher was there and Luda was there.
They missed the opportunity to bring out Try Hard Ninja and Captain Sparkles to sing Revenge.
I sent that to our buddy, and he was like, "Why are you harassing me with this?"
Because it's goated.
Because it's goated, and he claimed that he never played Minecraft as a kid.
Damn.
And I just have to harass him about that.
There's, for those of you who don't know, Try Hard Ninja is the singer for like most of Captain Sparkle's Minecraft parodies. TNT, I think he did TNT, Revenge, Fallen Kingdom, and all the other ones. Try Hard Ninja is the fucking go-to video game like music. Like not like composition, but like songs. I was watching before those came out because he used to be a Call of parodies. He used to be a Call of Duty like a song maker as well. He's made a lot of like COD songs, and he made those. He's
that's cool.
I rate him. He's good, and also like.
But there's one particular one of an Usher
Revenge,
song.
yeah.
DJ got us falling in love again.
It's great. Creeper.
Should have played
it. Man.
A lot of people. Oh man. A lot of people were talking about if Justin Bieber was gonna pop up.
Oh yeah, right.
Apparently he didn't want to.
Bell.
He was like, yeah, I don't want to do it, and fair enough.
Can he even sing that?
You have no obligation.
Can he even sing that high pitch anymore? Because obviously he's gone through puberty now.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Be interested.
Sing differently.
I'm sure he could.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was also a ton of guest people. Like Alicia Keys was there. I think Lil Jon was there. Ludacris was there.
Nice.
Probably like maybe one or two more that I'm like forgetting. It was fun. Usher was on roller skates at one point.
I'm honestly really surprised Taylor Swift didn't perform.
Yeah.
They probably tried to get her to perform, but she was like, nah, I'm here to watch my boyfriend.
True. I feel like they booked Usher probably before like the whole Taylor Swift Travis Kelce thing was real big.
Yeah.
And then it's like Usher and Taylor Swift, not that they have beef or anything to my knowledge, but like their music just doesn't mesh a whole lot.
It also could be a thing of Taylor's obviously doing this big worldwide tour, so she can't really afford.
Probably don't want to.
Can't really afford to do another concert because I'm like the toll that she's putting on her body must be insane. She's gonna like die at 50 at this rate.
I don't know. Because you also got to think she's so incredibly. She's going hard, but she's probably got like.
She's got the best team in the world.
Like she's probably got. I mean, she's on a private jet. She'd be flying that private jet.
A bit too much, some would say.
A little too much. Someone made a mention to me that they're like, it might not just be her using it, which is probably true.
Yeah.
Like it's probably like a team, but like there have been like 13-minute flights. That are like 30-minute drives.
I love
maybe like 45 to an hour if there's bad
traffic. The memes as well. I saw someone with a giant inflatable plane. It's like Taylor Swift when she needs to get to her seat at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Throws the plane across the stadium. It's great.
Oh God. I saw a 9/11 one that was just like when Taylor needs to get to the next building over, which is horrible, but kind of funny. Yeah, Taylor Swift was there. She was with I think Blake Lively, someone else, and Ice Spice.
Interesting like group, to be honest. Very strange.
I mean, Blake Lively, it makes sense because I know that I've been told that they're good buddies.
But Ice Spice is a weird one.
I guess she just likes. I guess she's friends with them. I don't know. Could have also been like a more of a celebrities box kind of a thing.
Yeah, very was.
I don't know. But just the amount of clips of like whoever was next to Ice Spice explaining the rules of football to Ice Spice is really funny. And I mean. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Football's kind of confusing, to be honest.
It is. And also, I think the Super Bowl for a lot of celebrities, it's less, they don't care about the sport. It's kind of like a networking event for them.
It's an event.
They go there to get publicity, which I don't blame them for.
Yeah.
It's their job
and
to
it's
do
probably
that.
fun.
It's fun to be there with people.
I'm
sure they go there to get in the celebrity box, talk to other people they don't get to see. It's like a Met Gala or something. It's like the event's cool and all, but you probably go there more to see people and speak with people.
I appreciated Travis Kelce's brother. Jason Kelce being the center for the ex-center for the Philadelphia Eagles because he did retire this year. Do you know what a center is, Dan?
I know what it is in basketball.
It's not that.
Okay.
In football, the center is the guy that snaps the ball and is also a defensive player.
Okay.
Very important. He's seen as like one of like the better or best centers.
Okay.
Like either in recent time or like ever. Like he's pretty good. You know, he's got that podcast with Travis that has gotten them so popular.
I wonder why.
But the videos yeah.
I
They're
hope for
entertaining.
that man's sake he does not break up with Taylor, because if he does, he is fucked. He is royally screwed. Because this is the most popular
He'll
Taylor Swift
live.
has ever been. And we've seen what the ex fans would say about like Ryan Gosling and other people. Gosling?
Wrong
Which one am I
Ryan.
thinking of? No, Jake Gyllenhaal's what I'm thinking of.
No, it's not. I was like, wait, I don't even think it's a Ryan. It is Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's the one.
Yeah, but I feel like if your fans don't overlap that much, it's not that bad. I mean, yeah, Taylor Swift fans go pretty hard, but also if you're an NFL player and it's like if the Taylor Swift fans hate you, you can kind of
Yeah,
just
no,
be like,
he'll be fine from that side of things. I just mean this is the most popular
It's
she's ever
fine.
been. So if a
True.
breakup happens like soon
a
while
lot of hype.
things are still in the spotlight and he has a public platform like a podcast, oh boy, get ready for that thing to get bombed.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how it goes because I
Yeah.
think she's had breakups that like have gone well, where it's just like we're just not, it just doesn't work. And I don't know, Travis Kelce gives me the impression that like he's not a shithead. He's maybe a little like a himbo.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
That's like I'm
Yeah,
here
like
for
if
that.
it's an amicable breakup, it'd be fine. If he cheats on her or something, oh boy.
Oh
he's
god.
dead.
Well, then he deserves
Yeah,
it.
of course.
Don't cheat on people.
Of course. Yeah. I thought that's
but
I don't even know what the drama is, so I can't even really go into it.
oh,
But in the RuneScape Twitter community recently, there's been this big drama about some girl cheating on a guy. They're both like RuneScape like streamers or something. I didn't even know about them. But my Twitter, like I don't even follow that many RuneScape accounts on Twitter, maybe like 2 or 3. My entire feed
Is your Twitter
was
all
just
RuneScape?
because of this
oh
drama.
my god.
I can't even name the people because it was a while ago and I don't know. But it was basically this girl who was dating this RuneScaper guy, and I think he paid for her flight to go somewhere, and she went there and just cheated on him with multiple people. So he just exposed her on Twitter, and everyone was just fucking roasting her. It was nuts.
Damn.
I don't even. Again, I can't even go into it because I didn't really know what was happening. But again, I
Yeah.
follow like 2 accounts on RuneScape, and my entire feed was just this drama. It was nuts.
Huh.
It's quite funny.
That's
I feel
kinda
bad for the
fun.
dude. The dude seemed to handle it really well though, because he literally just exposed her
good.
on Twitter and just kind of made a laughing stock of her.
That's good. I mean, obviously we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but
Yeah,
you know, hopefully that dude's doing all right.
yeah. Let's hope.
What kind of pen you got there?
It is the black one.
Yeah.
UB 120.
What's the brand?
It doesn't say.
Or is that the brand?
Oh wait, hold up. No, it says something in the silver part. It's just really difficult to see.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Uniball.
Oh, okay.
It's made in Japan.
I don't know why I asked. I saw a pen in your hand.
I'm fidgeting.
Oh, I'm holding a chip clip right now.
Nice.
It's better than I had another fidget toy that I realized was kind of loud,
Mhm.
but it's really fun. Okay, this is a side tangent. If you guys have access, this might, I don't know who this is going to apply to because I don't know how universal this is. You have access to a 3D printer, and you may be sitting here going, I don't have access to a 3D printer. Fun fact, there's a lot of libraries that have maker spaces in them. Maker spaces are really cool places that you can like, it's a space to make stuff. But you know, they have like wood shops and laser cutters and 3D printers and crafting tables and all that jazz, sewing machines. If your local library has a makerspace and you can use a 3D printer, make fidget toys because they're not that hard and your librarians probably know about it and they're very fun. I also have ADHD, so I have to fidget or I will go insane. But
Have you been diagnosed?
no, I don't want to spend the money on it.
Well,
Okay, I probably have it.
well.
Here's the deal. I've looked into it. A lot of signs point in that direction. If I paid a bunch of money to get a diagnosis, they'd look at me and go, yeah, sure, you have it. And then they go, do you want meds? And I'm like, well, not really. And then I just wasted a bunch of
Yeah,
money.
fair enough. I've looked into it before, and it's, I know it's ADHD is a spectrum, but it's one of
Yeah.
those things where like every time I look at it, I'm like, okay, I relate with that completely. Then I'm like, oh, I don't relate with that part at all. And I know it's because there's different areas of it, but there's some things I completely relate with. Some things I'm like, not like with me. One thing I really struggle with and have for my whole life is like staying consistent with like long-term goals. I just can't do it at
Mm,
all. I've gotten better now that my livelihood depends on planning for long-term with YouTube. But like,
yeah.
if I want to learn a skill, some people would just be like, all right, I'll practice that 1 hour a week or 1 hour a day until I get good at it. I'm like, all right, I'll practice it 1 hour this day and then not again. And then I'll do it three
Never
hours on the
touch it
weekend
again.
and then also never again. Like I have a guitar behind me
Yeah.
and I'll touch it once every like 2 months. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get back into this, and then just
Never happens.
don't do it.
Yep, I do the same thing.
And it's really, really irritating because like I'd like to develop these skills that I'm interested in, but my brain won't let me.
No, it will not. I have like sat and went, I want to do this right now, and I couldn't get myself to do it.
Yep, same. And like I've
It's
developed,
also just depression.
I've developed
I guess,
like
but-
bad habits of like if I'm like in bed or laying on the couch, and like I need to get up and work, I will develop bad habits of like I'm sure everyone can relate to this, but like okay, I'll do it at I'll get up at 4 p.m. to go work again, and then I'll be watching a TV show, and the TV show ends at 4:02. I'm like it's already past 4 now, so I'll wait till 4:30, and then it just keeps going.
Oh man, it passed my mark by 1 minute. I guess I have to stay for 30 more. Yeah, I do that a lot.
So like yesterday, I started editing at
But
like
anyway-
7 p.m. because of this. It's not great.
Nice. It's not great, but yeah, fidget toys are fun. Go see if your local library has a 3D printer. Get a little fidget toy for you. I on a comment of playing guitar, Fender keeps sending me ads about sales, and I get really tempted to essentially sell that white one, and get a cheap Fender because I just kind of like the style more.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sit here and I'm like, I've played my guitar like twice this year. So why would I do it? You know? But man, Fender is sending me ads. Like a lot. It's Fender and Guitar Center are just like, oh, we're having a President's Day sale. And I'm like, that's a holiday? Because I always forget about that holiday because I just never have that holiday off.
Right.
Stupid holiday. I think it's kind of George Washington's birthday, but it's like every Monday, so it's obviously not his birthday.
Yep. No.
It's a weird federal holiday that we have that I don't get off anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Fender's just throwing ads at me.
It's kind of like me with clothing brands on Instagram. Like I'm getting a more distinctified, more narrowed sense of fashion that I like, I guess.
Okay.
And like I ordered like a few things like months ago from like a site, and now I keep getting recommendations for like similar things like all the time, and I'm like, damn, these clothes look so sick, but like I don't need to buy it. What are you doing?
I dropped my chip clip.
Good, god damn it.
And I must fidget.
Yeah, so like, at the moment, because it's hot in Australia, I'm wearing like a bunch of muscle tank tops, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when it becomes winter, I'm like, do I want a spicy new hoodie or something? And it's like, I already have enough clothes. I don't need any more. But I sometimes...
Yeah, but new clothes are fun.
Yeah, and also like I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm taller, or maybe it's because I'm just shit at managing myself. But my weight fluctuates quite a lot. Like within the span of a year, I can easily go between like 90 and 100, like up and down. And I'm tall, so I'm not fat.
Sure.
But like, I think it probably is because I'm tall, because I store weight easily without having a bigger difference. But like 10 kg difference, no matter how tall you are, is going to make a difference to like pant sizes and
Clothes.
stuff. So I'm always like, if I buy a new pair of clothes when I'm like at 100, and then I decide to get fitter again and go down to like 90, it's just not going to fit again. So I'm always like, fuck, do I buy clothes now or wait until I'm skinnier? Or do I buy clothes assuming that I'm going to get skinnier?
Oh, never do that.
Yeah.
Never buy clothes assuming you're good. Cause that I fall into that where I'm like, it's pretty tight, but I'm gonna get in better shape.
Yep.
So it's good. Yeah, it doesn't work. I honestly recently I've been buying like slightly oversized stuff because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, I'm comfortable and I still look good.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards
Like I probably look
oversized as
better
well.
because I'm like comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a good way to go.
Yeah, and
I'm
like
also like 6'1", so like
yeah.
big stuff is
Yeah, that's the main issue for me is
The-
like
it still looks
sometimes like I can't find things that are like long enough. So I was looking at a hoodie from one of these websites
Yeah.
and like it was fine, but the sleeves for me would have gone up to like here. Which is
Just
not
never-
long enough.
just constantly have your sleeves rolled down.
I honestly I do have my
A
sleeves rolled up.
constant state. I always have my sleeves rolled
Yeah.
up.
Although the brand that's been saving me recently is Uniqlo. They make clothes for like longer body
Oh,
types, so they've been saving me,
Nice.
which is fantastic. But I'm liking just wearing
Wow.
this. I've very much leaned into comfort over style. Well, I always have,
Yeah.
but like, it's just so much better being comfortable, man.
I don't know. I feel like when you're comfortable, like you look more confident, and then that just makes up for it. And I mean, hey, look, if you like fashion, you like fashion. That's fine.
Yeah,
I like being comfortable.
same.
I mean, I'll put jewelry on every once in a while. Like I got like a necklace, like
Yeah, I gotta.
bracelet.
I had to buy an
chain.
extension for this because the actual like necklace or chain was like it was like a choker when I first had it, and it was tight. So I had to buy an extension for it. Good fun though. I also bought a like a silver bracelet, and it's the most difficult thing to put on in the world. It's like it's a normal clip, but the clip is like slippery, so I can't. It takes like 5 minutes to get it on. It's really fucking annoying.
Yeah, that's obnoxious.
I don't know if you're supposed to. When people wear like bracelets like that, do they leave it on in the shower? I never know. I always take it off.
Depends. I always take mine off. Well, first of all, it depends on how water resistant it is. Because like normally stuff is, but sometimes it isn't. It kind of depends. I'd say most of the time people do. Sometimes I keep my like chain on. I tend to take it off though.
Yeah, I would as well.
Every once in a while I'm lazy and I just like take a shower. But yeah. No.
Well, what else was I talking about?
I've been doing this fun thing this year, which I started at the beginning of the year, where I've been tracking all the movie I've been watching.
Okay.
Every single movie, which is kind of fun. I give it a rating after I watch it.
So you're
Just
a
kind of-
letterboxed fiend?
Yeah, but I'm just writing it in a notes
Okay.
app, which one might say, Chad, there's a whole app for this. I'll do it later.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'm trying to hit like 50 movies in a
The
year.
only thing I do that for at the moment is
It's like
anime.
one a week.
I do it through my anime list. It's,
Nice.
it's similar to Letterboxd,
Nice.
just the app for it. I think in terms of movies
Yeah.
I've watched this year, I've watched. Let me recount mine first because I don't have many, and then you can talk about some of yours. I watched Suzume
got some.
recently, which is the new Makoto, well, not even new anymore, but the newest Makoto Shinkai film.
Okay.
That was decent. It wasn't as good as Your Name, or I think out of the three recent ones, which is Your Name, Weathering with You, and that, it's the worst of the three. It's beautiful, stunning visuals, but I think they tried to do too much in one movie, and I think it came apart in the second half. I still gave it like a 7, but like Your Name's like a 10 for me. So I don't think he's ever
Gotcha.
gonna beat that movie. It's just perfect. What else have I seen this year?
What else have you seen this year?
It might actually just be that.
Have you gone to any theaters at all or no?
Not this year. No.
I've gone a couple
It
times.
might
actually.
genuinely just be that. I can't think of anything else I've watched. Oh god. Because I don't think I've watched any new movies that have come out this year, and I don't recall watching any other things on like Netflix or anything. Yeah, it might just be that. That is. I'm not a big movie person though, to be honest. I'm more of a shit.
I like movies.
I'm more of a 20-minute episodic show person. I prefer those.
More of a movie guy. Although I watch TV, but I feel like I watch TV when I'm like, all right, brain off, or like eating food or something like that.
Well,
But if I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and watch something and like pay attention, I'm like, movie. Typically is the route I go. I've watched, let's see, 1, 2.
yeah, I'm kind of the opposite. Like even with
I've watched 8.
Even with TV shows for me, I don't really
movies.
like the like 40, 50 minute hour ones. It's just like
Yeah.
It's too long, man. I can get through it.
I mean, you're 2 episodes in if you watched a movie.
Yeah, exactly. But
So-
like, if it's a show I like Doctor Who, I can watch. I watched the new Doctor
Yeah.
Who series. Well, the specials that came out, 60th anniversary specials, they were pretty good.
Ooh.
But apart from that, like, there's not many shows that I like that are that long. Like, The Boys have long episodes. That's a good show, though.
Boys is pretty
Invincible's
good.
pretty good.
That's coming out. I want to say 4th season is coming out soon, or am I thinking of something else?
Should be coming out.
Maybe I'm thinking.
I think it'll be this year. Invincible's coming back in a couple months.
Yeah, it is. Boy, season 4.
Do we have a release date?
I don't know. Oh, they've done trailers for the season.
Fair enough.
I don't know if
I think the next movie
I'll.
I'll see is probably the new Deadpool movie.
You think you'll see that new Dune movie?
I haven't seen the first one yet.
You should watch it. Actually, that's my most recent watch. I watched it for the first time. It's quite good. So I never watched it when it first came out because people were like, it's confusing if you don't know what's going on. I was like, cool, and I think I just never watched it. And I watched it with some friends, with like one guy who had like read the book and had watched the movie a couple times. So he's like, I know everything that's going on. It honestly, without it, like with his explanations, I got everything. But I think I would have gotten it for the most part anyways. Like, I actually don't think it was that complicated. It's maybe like some of the side stuff you would have been like, you wouldn't have known about.
Yeah, is the movie like
What
a
you didn't
direct
need.
retelling of like the first book or something?
I think
Because
so.
if that is the case, then
It's the first book. I mean, I don't know
if
like
that-
if it's like shot for shot.
if that's the case, if the movie is the first book, the argument of you won't understand what's going on, wouldn't that just apply to reading it as well for the first while? That seems
Well,
like a
it's
dumb
like
argument.
in the book they give more background because a book
Okay.
is longer than a movie.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're saying is like there's little things that they explain in the book that they don't explain in the movie because there's only so much
Right.
time. But honestly, I don't think it's that hard. Oh my god, it's what Star Wars should be. It's like, and that's obviously like Dune was written before Star Wars, and in fact, Star Wars has some basis from Dune.
Mhm.
I watched Dune and I went, why can't every new Star Wars movies be
So
this?
I might like Dune, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't like Dune.
Yep.
It's great. I mean, I'm late to the party.
I've been
but I'm talking about it now that Dune
Yeah,
2
I've
is
been
coming
wanting to
out
read the
soon.
book for years. I'm just not a big reader. So like getting into like a 600-page
Watch the movie
thing, I'm like, ugh.
or do an audiobook.
Yeah.
But no, the movie's great. There's Zendaya's in it as her perfume ad. And what I mean by that is like she's barely in the first movie. She's there at like the very end, but she also shows up in like visions
Right.
or like dreams. But you know how like perfume ads look like a fever dream in like a desert?
Mhm.
That's what Zendaya did for like the
Good.
movie. And then she's predominantly in the second movie. She's like there at the very end of the movie.
Right, yeah.
But it's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
I'll probably watch it before the second one comes out and then go see it.
It's a good movie. It's on Netflix right now, up until the movie comes out. The second one.
Cool.
So I think you got like a week
Oh, is it coming out soon?
ish.
Like soon.
Week and a half. Like week and a half.
Well, maybe I'll just watch it.
Something like
Possibly,
that.
we'll see.
Give it a watch. It was quite
I'm also
good.
just
I
addicted
enjoyed
to
it a
watching
lot.
anime right now. I'm in like I'm in my like
fair
second
enough.
coming of like anime nerd phase right now. I'm watching so many shows.
Nice.
Oh, I'm happy about it though, because last year was a pretty dry period for me. I didn't watch much except for just One Piece every week.
Mm.
But recently, shows have been
Well,
fucking hitting.
when you have One Piece, you can watch that for a year.
But that was like I was at the point where I was watching weekly episodes because I've been caught up for a year now.
wild. When did you start watching One Piece?
I started watching One Piece like December 2022, so it's been like 2 years.
So it took you only a year to catch up to One Piece?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, like it's I watch around like 1,000 episodes in a year. No, I was caught up before that actually. I started before that. I started December 2021.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like 1,000 in a year.
Yeah, and 1,000 2 years.
I mean, that's like 3 a day.
Yeah, well,
Which actually 3 a day is not that insane.
there's days where I would watch like 15 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess 3 in a day.
Because with One Piece as well, they're like 22-minute episodes, but you have the intro, you have some flashbacks, and you have the ending. So they're really looking more like 15, 16-minute episodes for a lot of it. So you can get through them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, recently I've been back in a phase. I think the last episode I talked about a show called Free Run to You, which is the top rated anime on my anime list. Great show. There's another show called The Apothecary Diaries, which is about a ancient Chinese apothecary girl who basically solves like mysteries, and it's really good. And then I've been watching some like older shows as well. A show called Guilty Crown, which is I mainly watched it because the opening song is really good. Like I remember
that works.
I remember back in the day, I'd watch like best like anime openings, and that was always there. Like the song is fire.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll watch it." It is a batshit crazy.
Nice.
I doubt many people are gonna watch it, but I won't spoil it. It came out in 2011, and it's 22 episodes. The first 12 are pretty. It's like sci-fi dystopian world. First 12 are like pretty good, and then from episode 13 to 22, each episode you don't think it can get worse and more fucking like. What's the word? Like everything is just like
wild,
but also like brutal as fuck. Like it just gets more and more brutal,
like gory.
More so, yeah, gory, or like in the way characters treat each other, or in deaths.
Yeah.
It just every episode you don't think it can get worse, and it just keeps getting worse.
I bet it does.
I was like, fucking hell. And then by the end, I was like nearly crying. I had a fucking existential crisis. So it was good.
So good show.
Yeah. Oh. It's one of the it's very hate or love. I will like, especially for I enjoyed it, but I will admit it's not the best written show. I think it would have been better if they ended it after 12 episodes, because the 12th episode was kind of like a mid-season ending, and it ended in a good place, and then they just went, let's fuck this shit up as much as possible, and they did.
Weird.
Yeah, like it was a fun watch, but it was just like fucking hell. It just kept getting worse.
Yeah. Interesting.
I imagine it's kind of similar to what Game of Thrones fans felt with season 8, 7, the final season.
I think it's like definitely 8 and maybe season 7. Or like
I feel like it's similar to what they felt, where like everything they knew was just like, nah, let's just make everything just more ridiculous and worse for no reason.
I've been watching Malcolm in the Middle recently, and I've been going through the whole show. It's the first time I've like gone through the whole show, and like the first 4 seasons, like 3 to 4, are like, damn, this is like really good. Around like somewhere between 4 and 5, it just starts getting worse, and it's not bad. But I watched an episode, and I actually didn't finish it. I ended up skipping the episode. And it just sucked. Like, I just was like, this isn't funny. Like, I'm trying to think, what was the episode? It's one where, first of all, it starts off with something that I don't think necessarily aged poorly, but you could argue it maybe aged poorly, where like it starts with like the two parents being like the mom, Lois, is like talking to Hal, who's the husband. Yeah, I found out like a coworker walked in and her husband was like wearing a dress and like lipstick and stuff. And it's like, I will say they weren't like, that's fucking weird. Men can't do that. But they were like, that's a pretty big thing to like keep from your spouse. So I don't think it necessarily aged poorly, but it was like, I think I'm on season 6 now. It's been treading the line of like, it's getting.
Do you think it's
close.
just poorly aged more so than bad writing, or do you think it's bad writing?
No, it's bad writing, because I think they've had stuff that like, I don't necessarily think there's a whole lot that's poorly aged. Okay. I think the writing has gotten worse. Like throughout the show, like Malcolm and Reese, like all the brothers are like not really that liked, but like they have some friends. And I watched an episode, and the whole concept is they had like a ditch day where like everyone in the entire school like didn't go to school, and they show up and the teacher's like, no one told you this? Like everyone's talking about it. And the whole point is that they don't have any friends. And I'm like, this sucks. Like they had friends at some point.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like they do have friends. And then their response is like, the problem is it doesn't feel like they've grown at all. Like they'll every once in a while they'll have an episode where it's like, I've grown and like people like me, or like I've learned from my mistakes. And then this episode they're just like, you know, people just are jealous and hate us.
Yeah.
We should get back at them. And it's like,
Is Malcolm in the Middle a show that is like each episode's directed by like a different person, or like there's different directors for different episodes? Because like I know that happens in like some other shows.
it's a sitcom, so probably.
Yeah, that is like an issue you run into when you have different directors. If like it happens in Doctor Who a lot because like the showrunners have changed quite a few times, and in Doctor Who specifically, it really pisses me off because the canon is really important and like character development is really important.
Yeah.
So it pisses me off when like a new director comes in and just completely forgets about a really important part of a character, and then just like fucks it up. So like I haven't watched the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who seasons. I think it's like season 11, 12, 13. I haven't watched them, but I've watched some video essays on them. And one big thing is the Doctor, his whole entire character, at least in the modern era, hates using guns. He will never like use guns for violence because he doesn't think like violence is the answer. And then Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, she comes up with some excuse to make using guns okay. It's like, well, that's not the philosophy of the character at all, like whatsoever. And like there's this other part. There's an episode called like Planet of the Spiders, which I will never watch because fuck that. But in the show,
not a big Spiders fan?
Not me, no. But in the episode, from what I remember from hearing from this video essay, one of the characters is trying to kill the spiders by like burning them. Because they're like giant as well. They're like giant fuck off spiders. So he's trying to kill them by like burning them or shooting them or something.
I'm okay
and
with
she's
that.
like, no, that's inhumane. We can't do that. They're creatures. We have to treat them with love. So instead, what the Doctor does is lock them in a room and suck all the oxygen out so they fucking like oxygen starve to death and die. I'm like,
so you still kill them?
Yeah, in a worse way, arguably.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so shooting them or burning them, whatever the fuck it was, is bad, but depriving them of oxygen is it more humane? What? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
I'm like, that's like not in their character whatsoever. It's just kind of stupid. Yeah, so that kind of annoys me. It's obviously, I understand it's difficult to do when like you have a show like Doctor Who where there's like years and years and decades of writing and stuff you have to keep up on.
I mean, you said 60 years. Like at some point they're going to contradict themselves.
Well, like at least with the modern era, you need to keep up with stuff that's happened since 2005. So I understand it's difficult.
Okay.
But when you're coming into a beloved series like that, you gotta be careful not to like step on what's already been developed. And if something has been developed, you need to come up with a really good fucking reason why it's changed now.
Yeah.
And not just like some dumb excuse. So that's kind of it's like with the Malcolm in the Middle example. If there's no fucking reason why suddenly their friends aren't telling them there's no school, it just doesn't make sense.
It's like they have they're like somewhat likable.
Yeah.
Like they have girlfriends at some point. And now they're just like, they're complete losers. And it's like, yes, to some degree they were kind of losers, but they weren't fully.
Yeah.
It's also like every once in a while there's an episode where I'm like, oh, this is like pretty decent. And then I hit an episode where I'm like, this sucks.
It's just very inconsistent.
But I'm trying to finish it. It's got 7
Okay.
seasons. I'm like on episode, I don't know, 16 or 17 of season 6.
Right.
So I'm not that far off, and I tend to have Malcolm on in the background anyways.
Yeah. That's another thing with my possible ADHD with the longer shows. I'm on season 5 of Breaking Bad and have been for like 5 months, and I just can't bring myself to watch it because like committing to like a...
You're so close. Isn't season 5 the last one?
Yep, and it's the best one, and I'm like so close to finishing it, but like it's gotten to the point now where like 1, I have to commit to watching these episodes, and 2, it's also been so long since I watched season 4, I'm like, I have to remember what the fuck happened. So I'm stuck in this weird limbo of like, I know I need to just commit and fucking watch it, but I also, if I'm sitting down and watching TV, if I'm sitting down for like dinner, I'd much rather just put on YouTube. And then if I'm sitting down late at night and I want to watch something while like snuggling up, I'd much rather just watch anime.
Sure.
So it's like, when do I find time to watch Breaking Bad? I don't know. I know I should though.
Yeah. Or per our friend's request, we just don't do it.
Yeah.
We keep edging him with not watching Breaking
Why?
Bad.
I've watched most of it, just not the best season in the final
Yeah,
one.
it's trash. I started it at one point, and it wasn't that I didn't like it. I was just at a point in time where I was really bad at watching TV.
Yeah.
Like keep like consistently watching TV.
Yeah, that's me at the moment. I can't do. Like again, I watch anime, but I can't watch regular TV at the moment. I think it generally is like the longer episode times I just struggle with. They just feel less digestible to me.
I'm watching The Bear right now.
I heard.
That's my new show. It's good. It's fun.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Chef.
Cooking. Chef. Yeah, chef. All that
I
good
could
stuff.
never work in a fucking kitchen. I remember when I was applying for jobs like
it's
years ago,
fun.
I
It's
applied
good
to GYG, Guzman y Gomez, which is a Mexican restaurant in Australia. Didn't get the
cool.
job, and I'm so thankful I didn't because I think I would have died.
I love working in a kitchen. It's fun.
Well, I think for me, the issue, well, one, I'm not the most social person, so I'd hate being in that environment where I'm having to constantly talk to either customers or other employees like all the time. Two, I'm not great at cooking, so that'd be something I'd have to, obviously I'd learn and get better, but that'd be awful.
Sure.
And three, I don't know how much this will be an issue, but I'm sure it would be. Because I'm tall, I have to bend over for a lot of counters and my back gets sore really quickly. Like even when I'm cooking at my place, if I'm cooking for like 20 minutes and I'm bending over my counter because it's made for a more average height person, I get a sore back and like neck really quickly. So if I'm doing like a 6-hour shift, I'm gonna die. It's not gonna be good for me.
It's a lot of standing. You gotta get good shoes.
Yeah.
The antisocial bit is not a problem. A lot of antisocial people work in a kitchen. They just do the kitchen part and not the like customer service part.
I just hate being around people.
That just applies to most things.
Yeah. Like that's why when I go out on walks, I'll always go at like 10 p.m. so there's no one around.
Nice.
It's bad. I think I've gotten worse over the. I think COVID didn't help. That definitely made me worse.
Oh no.
And now that I have a job where I
all.
sit at home and don't have to speak to people, it's just making me worse and worse. It's
Yeah. We gotta put you in a YouTube office where it's just a bunch of people streaming, but you're like in a cubicle.
I feel like I wouldn't hate that because at least be people that like do similar stuff to me.
Right. That'd be interesting because you'd also have to do like sound dampening, and oh my god, the internet would have to be insane.
It would. Australian internet is known for being bad as well.
Yeah. I just like the idea of like like really early in the Incredibles movie where they're in a cubicle and it's just like a sea of cubicles and it's just all gray and like really like bright white light. It's that, but it's just gamers.
I would not be surprised if in 20 years we see that happening.
I guess it's possible.
Maybe not cubicles because we'll be working from home, like people will be at home, but like office jobs are going to be taken up more and more by robotics and AI in the coming years.
True.
We're going to get, I reckon I used to say the last jobs that will be taken will be creative jobs, but I don't even know about that anymore because
clearly
AI is getting real good at creative stuff. It's concerning.
I mean, yes and no.
Have you seen the recent videos AI have been doing?
Yeah, I've seen some
They're getting
stuff, and
concerningly
it's
good.
decent. Yeah, I just like looking at like pictures, and then you just look at hands that are like AI generated images. AI doesn't understand hands. It always gives it like an extra finger.
They're getting pretty good recently, though.
They're getting
the
better.
issue with AI is that it's just accelerating faster and faster and faster. So it might not look good today, but in a year from now, it could be 100 times better. That's the issue with it.
True. I think the thing is it's got to copy an art style, so it's good. However, if you have your own style, which artists do, like that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
You're still going to beat AI.
I don't know how long, to be honest.
I mean, I think it's still
because AI can do 1,000 iterations of an art in 1 minute, whereas a person might have to take 100 hours to do a piece.
The problem is AI isn't creative, and that's the whole point of art. And like, yeah, you could create something if you give it like all the guidelines, but it doesn't create something new per se.
Then again, the argument is, does anyone create something new?
Well,
everything's
yeah, but it's a question of people creating something new that's good.
Yeah. I think we're on different ends of the spectrum. I think it could. I don't think it's taking over just yet, but
No,
I do think within 10 years or so, we could be in a place where the majority of art is just AI. Obviously, there still will be real artists,
that would suck.
and they'll still be at like galleries and stuff. There'll still be art, but like digital
Sure.
style. If you look on like, if you go to like art forms, not art forms, but like, if you go on like Twitter and look at art or other places, there's a lot of AI stuff already.
I mean, that's true.
I think the issue with AI is less so the quality, it's more so the quantity. It will just flush out everything else because there's so much of it. It's
I
so
can agree
fast
with
to
that.
make. Like I even see on on YouTube nowadays so many thumbnails are AI generated as well. Like there's a few GTA
I can see a lot of
YouTubers
like
that-
stock images
that too.
just being gone because that's a really easy thing. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I tend to stay on the optimistic side of it.
I'm not like worried. I just think it's a thing that's going to happen.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's more right now. It's at a stage where it's more useful than harmful. It could get harmful at some point, but the thing is, it depends. Like,
it could easily get harmful.
I think that
It already had. You could argue that to some degree it had.
Yeah.
There was the whole like Taylor Swift like pornographic images.
Yeah, exactly.
That was going around. That is very disturbing.
And that's only going to get
Taylor Swift could be the reason AI imaging gets some amount of like rules around it.
But like that stuff's only going to get more high quality and more realistic.
Yeah.
And even if there are rules around it, there'll be people that get around the rules as well.
I mean, true, but like it could cause some regulation, which is
But
good.
is the regulation going to be global or is it going to be US based? Because that's a thing as well.
It'll probably start in like a US or like an EU and then could eventually go. But that's a good point. It's hard to police the internet.
Yeah, exactly. It's the internet. Like there's so much stuff on the internet.
Obviously it's possible, but
fucked.
True.
Like even I'm looking at YouTube right now, and I go on Twitter and I follow a few accounts that do like thumbnail stuff on YouTube and like shit. And there's so many things already that are being like AI generated completely. Because it's efficiency. People want to be more efficient in every area of life. So if you can make a thumbnail that's 90% the quality of an actual one for 1% of the time, most people are probably going to do that.
Have you toyed with it?
The only thing I've used AI for thumbnails is like if I take a screenshot of GTA and there's like I took a screenshot from my like Twitch live stream and there's like text on the screen. So on Photoshop there's an AI generator that if you cover the text, they can get rid of the text and fill in like the rest of the scenery. It's like generative AI fill. I haven't completely used like a complete AI image, but I've used the generator fill to like sometimes get rid of stuff in the background or extend an image a little bit.
That feels a little different though. Maybe extending an image, but like because it doesn't feel like if you're really, I guess you are creating stuff if it's trying to fill in, but that's just like honestly that's just digital art.
No, that's not like a real bad use. So that's more of a useful use case. Like you're just trying to bring back something that was taken out because of text over the screen or something, or extend an image that it's already there. It gets worse when people are just typing into like the AI like city with buildings and roads in a GTA or like in a lo-fi setting. On lo-fi, what I'm trying to say.
Right, like they type a paragraph and get
exactly.
You did the bare minimum and actually got something out of it.
And I know there are types of AI imaging where you have to be very specific with how you work. Like I've seen people make like AI generated like cartoon characters or like anime characters, and you have to be very specific. Like they'll type in like I don't know the exact examples, but they'll type in like forehead 40.5 or like in these like very specific values to get a very specific character. And I think there's a bit of creativity to that because you're still forming it yourself. It's like
True.
code to imaging. Like if you can't draw, that's your art form. But when you're just typing in like blonde anime girl and take the first fucking image that comes up and use that's a bit shitty.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, artists just become like how good they're at describing something rather than actually being able to do it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some like AI video stuff as well where you type in like a general scene and they'll create a video. So like 30 years from now, a movie is just some dude in his computer being like writing out a fucking plot, and then the movie's just made for him.
Yeah.
Be interesting. I wonder if we can get to a point where,
Could be.
like, I'm sure we could, where like you copy and paste the Harry Potter books into an AI video generator, and they just make the Harry Potter movies based on the books like directly. That'd be interesting.
Oh, that'd be very interesting. Like, it's just so you can have like a shot for shot. Now, the question is, if it gives you a shot for shot movie, you give it a long book. How long is that movie?
They'd have to. I'm sure the AI would have to learn to like take things in. So like when maybe they'll take things in.
They
So
have
like
to learn
say
a
like the
lot.
narrator in the book is describing how Hermione looks. Instead of that being like voiced out in the movie, they just take that as information to
just-
make her
yeah.
look like that. Like show not tell, obviously.
Yeah.
So they'll have to do a lot of learning, but that could be interesting to see like what a non-subjective director, in a sense, an AI director thinks this story should look like. What would Lord of the Rings look like with a completely objective point of view from an AI?
Interesting. I think the problem that you come across, or the hard part, I guess, is like the direct translation might be easy, but like there's so many other things in film, like lighting and like camera angles and like shooting and like style that I think is hard. Like, and that's maybe something that you have to go in and edit yourself.
Well, it's one of those things as well. Like, well, it's like when you're reading a book. For those of you that can picture stuff in your head when you're reading, I kind of can a little bit, not great.
Sure.
So like when you read a book that you haven't seen on a screen and you picture stuff in your head, everyone gets a sort of slightly different look of what they think it looks like.
Yeah.
So it would just be what the
Well,
AI
that's the thing.
thinks, and it may be good, it may be terrible.
Well, that's the problem, is how much can AI think and
Interpret.
choose its
Yeah,
own
exactly.
style and interpret. That's where like we beat robots as of currently, and for what I imagine as of like a while. Because like, yeah, you could give it a bunch and it could feasibly remake Harry Potter, but like, how is it gonna choose like camera pans and like stuff that you see in the movies that probably aren't in the book but actually elevate it, like doing a pan over like Hogwarts or like the countryside or something like that. It's like they probably don't have like, look, there's a sprawling countryside. Like it just goes like they're on the train now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that is an interesting part.
Could be interesting.
I'm sure we'll get there at one point.
God, we might. I'd also just be curious at how it makes it like an actual movie length. Because like a lot of books, if you did
they're
it like
long.
pretty exactly, I feel like it would come out to be like way longer.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you put The Fellowship of the Ring, they skip over like 100 pages of that book, I think. Like something like that. Because you've seen The Lord of the Rings, right?
No,
God damn it.
you know this.
I can't remember which amazing movies you haven't seen. There's too
Assume
many
I've
of
not
them.
watched anything.
That's fair. Sadly, it's the way we have to go about things.
I watched the first. I
okay,
watched
this-
the first half an hour of Lord of the Rings and then stopped. I was on a plane. I
You're
didn't feel like
horrible.
watching it on a plane.
Please watch The Lord of the Rings. They're so good. There's a whole portion where all of the hobbits go into the forest, like a forest, and they talk to this guy that never shows up ever again in the entire like Tolkien universe. I think I could be wrong. And they just don't show it in the movie whatsoever. It's some of the more like whimsical stuff that happens. So I get why like Peter Jackson didn't do it. But just imagine, like if you did Lord of the Rings, like AI generated, it would be so long. Because those books are so goddamn long. They're great. They're fantastic.
Even
They'd probably shorten the Hobbit.
yeah. Even more interesting would be like how they do like non-fiction books. Because non-fiction books
like
are supposed to be just
like a Planet Earth kind of style.
No, I mean more like an Atomic Habits or like the 12 what's the other one I'm thinking of? There's a bunch of like non-fiction books about like how to be better at like socializing, how to make money.
Oh, like those like self-help
Yeah.
books.
Because they're meant to just be like,
I have no
they're meant
idea
to
how
just
you
be
do
like
that.
speaking to you like fully educational. You're not supposed to picture anything in your head. So like given it,
I feel like that's just a YouTube
given
video.
AI,
Then.
yeah, just some guy at a desk.
Like it's not a movie. That's a
it's just
YouTube
it's just
video.
a Joe Rogan podcast.
You oh god. You put a cookbook into there, but it's trying to make it a movie.
Oh, they actually just show you how to cook it.
I guess, but it's like really cinematic.
Yeah, but the thing is, cookbooks also don't have like exposition. It's usually just like ingredients. So what would that be? They're just like,
No, cookbooks are usually like, this is what you do.
well, it depends on what.
I don't know. Sometimes
I
they have
cookbook
some
that is literally
cookbooks.
just picture ingredients and like times, like no exposition.
It doesn't describe how to, but and like steps, right?
Yeah, I'll say like step 1, turn up heat. Step 2, chop
Sure.
onion.
Yeah. I thought you said shop on Yawn. Like if Yawn was, I was like, the fuck is Yawn? Some weird like Aussie grocery website.
No,
Chop onion. I got
yeah,
you.
I just said it weird because I felt like it.
Sure.
Yeah, us.
Yeah, that could be
Speaking
interesting.
about the future, the Apple Vision Pros came out recently.
Oh yeah.
I don't really care about that, but I am tempted to get a VR headset.
Oh, do it.
I'm really
100%.
tempted to buy the MetaQuest 3.
I want to say no.
Why?
I want to tell you no, and I can't. And it's because I can't remember which one. No, I
I've
mean,
had people
go for
say
it.
that's the best one.
It probably is. I want to say there was like one headset, and I can't remember which one it was. That's like doesn't port very well, and I think it's like maybe it's not the MetaQuest. Maybe it's the.
I've
other
heard. I
one.
also on live stream and I also research. I've heard the MetaQuest 3 is like the best one by far for
Maybe it
like
is.
gaming and stuff
Maybe
because
it's the
you can connect it to your.
Oh no, it's the Oculus. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's the Oculus one that is difficult.
You
to
know,
work
it's
with.
because the MetaQuest 3 you have a phone app, but you also have like a USB connector that you put to your PC and you can play Steam on it. So like I want to get it mainly to play VR Skyrim. That's like my main use case.
Just play Beat Saber.
That as well. I really want to play Beat Saber.
Spending $1,000. Beat Saber irks me because it's too much money.
Is it? How much is it?
Well, it's like $30, which isn't horrible, but then you have to buy packs.
Oh.
And like, I don't know, I like playing music that I already know because that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it's like, it'll be like $12 for a pack of like 6 songs.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
I'm like, you're making me spend $2 for a single song. Like, I gotta play a lot of Beat Saber if I'm gonna do that. And that's an issue I have with VR. Is like, unless you really get into it, it's kind of hard to play for like a long time. Like, I've been wearing these headphones for a while today, and like my ears kind of hurt.
Fair. I remember when we played in Vienna. I didn't
VR.
get. I felt fine when I was playing. I didn't get like motion.
We didn't play for too long.
No, we didn't play for too long. I
though.
didn't get like motion sickness or anything. But that's the good thing about having an at-home set is that you can play for 20 minutes and then stop if you want to.
You'd also probably start to get used to it, and it would get better and better.
Yeah.
You should get too used to it. Probably. I don't know if there's many studies on like.
Well, I'm
health
sure.
effects,
I'm sure
but I
in
feel
20
like-
years we'll be wearing them anyways. So might as well get used to it now.
Uh,
I was watching like the Sidemen podcast again because they were talking about the Apple Vision Pro, and like they made a point. I'm sure other people have made this point as well, but I was like, oh shit, they're right. When you think of the first iPhone is shit. Like it was revolutionary for the time, but it wasn't very good.
yeah.
You look at 10 years later, how much better it got. This is the first Apple Vision Pro, and it's already doing all these like pretty impressive things. Imagine where the Apple Vision Pro is going to be in 10 years.
Oh, I'm 100%. Oh no, I think like VR
It's
eventually could be the way of gaming, or at least
I
like
reckon it could
popular
be the way of
gaming. I'm
life,
sure, like,
honestly.
potentially. I kind of hope not.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a choice for a long time. Like I reckon for the next 20, 30 years, it'll be like having a phone. It's like you can live without your fucking phone. Like you can. It'll be a
Yeah.
choice. But I reckon at some point it could become very ingrained in society. It also depends what
Gotta hope
VR
not.
headsets are like. If they're like
I guess they'll
these
get
big
better.
things, I don't think people are gonna want to wear those.
Sure.
If they become like contact lenses at some point in the future, that'll be pretty easy to wear.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's a thing to consider.
But
Isn't
yeah,
it?
what if you
Like 20, 30 years, there's contact lenses that work as like AR glasses.
Yeah, I think everyone will wear those, like, because it'll just be so
Yeah.
useful. Like, if you had like they're also saying this in the podcast. Like, imagine you're wearing a VR headset or the fucking contact lenses, and you put on Google Maps. You want to get from A to B. Instead of having the maps in your vision, the road lights up in front of you. So the road lights up like you're playing a game and you go right, left. Like, that'd be sick. That'd be so cool.
Start drifting. Start acting like it's GTA.
Yeah, or like you're going for a run, but you don't just want to run on the treadmill or run through your city. So you get transported into a different world, and it takes your environment around you. So you're still not like running into poles and stuff, but they'll like change the environment to look like a different place. Like that'll be pretty sick.
It's like a texture pack.
Yeah, pretty much. Or like I think it was Disney that was working on, you know, when you play like VR, like the biggest like issue with VR is that you can't really like walk in the world. You have to like walk with the controller. I think it was Disney that were working on like one of those things where you like get stuck in place and you walk on like a pad and you move back.
There's plenty of people. Yeah. People have been working on that for like years, and it's either like super expensive or really janky. Or
so like I'm sure in like 15 years or so, those will be a pretty affordable thing.
Oh, I think so. I fully think
so. Because like realistically, all it is just like a
point.
circular treadmill where you walk around on. That's kind of what it is. You put on a harness. Maybe you don't even need to put on a harness in the future ones, and you can walk around in it like you're walking around in a real world. And we might get to the point where like tourism's dead because all you have to do is put on your fucking VR headset and you're in Paris. Like you can just walk around.
True. Yeah, but I'd wonder if it's almost like everyone could travel on the internet, but it's like it's elite to travel in real life.
It could be, yeah. Like traveling in the real world becomes like the new like rich person activity.
Weird utopian.
Yeah. It could also be a thing of like people of our generation would still love to go in person, but our kids might be like, what's the fucking point?
Why would I spend all that money when I can just pop the old VR headset on and I'm in Sydney, Australia?
Yeah, like
I'm in Boise, Idaho.
That's definitely where everyone wants to go.
That's where everyone wants to go.
I might be weird in this way, and I'm not completely like this, but I've had this conversation with my parents in the past. Like when we used to go on holiday, my parents would always be like taking a lot of photos of like the Eiffel Tower and scenery and stuff. Not with them in it, just photos of the actual thing. And they always ask me like why I don't take many photos. I'm like, I'm happy to take photos if I'm in it or if people I know are in it, because then it's a memory. Yeah. But if it's just a photo of the Eiffel Tower, I can just go on Google and look at a photo of the Eiffel Tower if I really want to. So I don't care about taking
a much better photo of the Eiffel Tower.
If it's like a nice sunset or something that's more unique, I guess I'll maybe take a photo. But if it's just of a thing that's there that every other fucking person's taking a photo of, I don't care about it too much. So like that's my mindset compared to theirs. What's my grandchild's mindset going to be compared to mine when it comes to actually traveling to places? They'll be like, what's the point? Like already you can like go on Google Maps and go to Street View and technically look at things. It's not the same, but you can already do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the question is how much will it actually be the same? Because like, can you eat food there? Like that's one thing that's like, can't really do that in VR. No. We get those like 2010s like 4D movies that like puff like air at you that's supposed to smell like stuff. They got that going on.
Yeah, so I'm sure there'll always be, unless we find a way to spawn food out of nothingness, there'll be some things you always miss out on.
And if we can spawn food out of nothingness, we won't use it for good. That would be too weird.
Well, somehow we'll be able to spawn food out of inorganic matter, and Africa will still somehow be starving.
Yeah, we'll find a way. It's like in The Prestige when when two people have a cloning device that can clone anything. They prove that it can clone anything because they clone a hat like 1 billion times. And yet, no one uses it for like good. They use it for magic tricks. And I think it's great. Yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah, no, it's an interesting thought that yeah, I'd be curious. It's like, you know, I feel like when we're kids, it's like, oh, you're always on those video games, or always on that damn phone. Our kind of like kids' generation could be like, you're always on that. You always got them VR headsets on. Look at the real world. I could see it. It's possible.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's really possible.
Well, like again, Apple Vision Pro were already at the point where like people have those on. They'll have YouTube videos up while they're walking in public. There's a app on it where you can be on the moon. And this is the first generation of this
fun.
thing. I reckon even second generation.
Now it also costs like $3,500.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
is expensive, but
And they look really
they do.
stupid.
But no, they'll get cheaper. They'll get better.
Yeah, they'll get cheaper. It'll be more normalized. Have you seen the one where the guy was driving like a Cybertruck or like a Tesla? Yeah, and he like crashed. And Tesla's like, I think Apple's like, yeah, we never said that you could do that.
Yeah. No, because it's distractions. Like having that on while you're driving is the exact same as having a phone up while driving. It's like the same thing.
It's probably worse.
Yeah, because you get distracted way more easily by it. So yeah, there's a lot of.
Maybe you could argue.
That's the other concern with it is it's very hard to monitor what people are using on there. So like the policing of stuff in your own personal AR set is going to be very interesting. Like very interesting because like who knows in the future if someone develops an app to like I'm trying to think of like something that would make sense. Like
I was gonna say what would need to be policed?
Like maybe like deep fakes online are a thing. Maybe someone develops an app where they can like AI generate someone being naked on the street, so you just walk around, everyone looks naked to you. Is that like an invasion of privacy to a massive degree? Probably. Even though it's not their actual naked bodies, it's still like weird.
True. Still pervy. Yeah, I don't know. That is a weird gray area because it's like you're not like it's like a form of like sexual.
It's like the Taylor Swift AI
like,
pics. Technically, it's not her naked.
Yeah.
But like,
where it's like it's not technically her, but it's like it's deeply horrible.
Yeah. Or like someone
And,
develops a. It's
creepy.
like playing Watch Dogs. You can look at someone's face and instantly their Facebook profile, Instagram pops up. You can see all the information about them because it just matches their face to their online profile. That stuff is going to be.
It's just
rough.
It's yeah.
What about social? What about did you see the Black Mirror episode where you get like you rate people based on how?
Yeah, I've seen that one. I feel
do
like
that shit.
everyone in our school watched that because for whatever reason, the English teachers were like, "We're watching this episode of Black Mirror."
I didn't watch it in school.
They were all into it. Oh, okay. Well, I did. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Social
I
rating?
don't think it would obviously get that far. It's possible.
Depends on the government.
I think
reckon in China it will. They already have a social score.
Okay, that's probably true. I think in our current civilization, I don't know how much people care about a ranking system.
No, let's hope not.
Like to some degree they do, but like I don't really care a whole lot about how people see, like random people.
Yeah, of
like if
course
I'm in
not.
a supermarket, I don't really care about anyone in there. Like I'm not sitting here going like I don't think if I walked around and someone popped up as like 2.2, I'd be like, oh, disgusting. I would just I don't care. I'm here to get groceries.
Yeah,
and
of course
leave.
not. But you can see how it could develop. Like we already have scores for
Yeah,
like
I could
Uber
see
Eats
it.
drivers and Uber drivers. I know that's their job, but it is also tied to who they are as a person a little bit.
True.
You can see how it could develop.
Yeah, but you only see that within their profession.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you go to a grocery store and the cashier's being a bit of a cunt to you, and you have a social score, are you going to rate them down because they've been an arsehole? A Karen definitely would.
Oh my god. Poor customer service workers.
Yeah.
They work hard, man. People are stupid.
Because all these things, they're going to come about from good people. They're going to come about from the bad people who are vocal about their dumb opinions.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the most of the people who review things are either people who loved it or people who hated
Exactly.
it.
The most polarizing opinions.
People who are just like, yeah, it's fine. Don't really review things. I mean, they do to some
Yeah,
degree,
not
but-
massively. Like you very rarely, when you go on like an Amazon product, it's rare you see like a product with like a bunch of 3-star reviews. It's like either 5 or like 2.
Yeah. That's true. That is very true.
Yeah, I guess we'll see where the world is in 20 years. I'm here for
guess
it. I'm
we'll see.
kind of excited to see where the VR goes. I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
It could do a lot of harm.
I think it could be really
but
interesting.
I think it has a lot of potential.
For sure. I mean, a lot of things can do a lot of
Yeah,
harm.
true. Let's hope future wars are fought in digital space, so no actual people die.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be interesting. You just fight a war digitally. You get all the COD streamers and like CS like players are like your soldiers. And then when you lose a war, you're just like in real life, you're like, here's my land, I guess. Like they come to an agreement and they're like, I want this part of your country. And you're like, well, I lost a digital war.
Oh no, Chad, they don't need the real country because there's digital countries and digital lands.
True.
Dude, imagine we get like full on like Ready Player One worlds where like I can just straight up live in Skyrim and just have a good time there. I don't need to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I'd be down.
Could be fun. Could be fun. Well, lots to think about. Dan, you got anything else for us today?
No.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh, I do have one thing. I'm.
Oh,
It
okay.
don't need to talk about it for long. I'm just. I'm going to see Blink 182 in a few days.
Ooh, you will have to tell me how that
Yeah.
goes next week because I am very excited and I'm very curious to see how they are.
Yeah. Tom DeLonge back, the boy. We've seen them. We saw
That's
them together
nice.
a few years ago, back when.
Yes, we did see
Tom
them together,
was not
but
there.
Tom DeLongless.
Yeah.
No
Tom
Tom.
DeLonge. That's a weird way to say it.
It's a weird phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see that. That'll be good.
Nice. I saw a video recently that was like the security at a Blink 182 album or concert. I got there eventually. And he was just it was calling people at Blink like who go to Blink 182 concerts old, where it was like, oh, they're pulling drugs. I was like, oh, that's just a Tums. It's just for the acid reflux.
Dude, I have acid reflux tablets I take like often.
You were old since you were like 14 though, with all or probably before that.
Yeah, back issues. Oh no, that's another thing.
Back issues. Yeah.
I woke up bad yesterday and I have a tweak in my shoulder that's really painful. Like it's really sore. You know when you like have those nights where you wake up and you have like just something wrong with your shoulder? It's like it's
I'm
to the
aware.
point where like it's better today. But yesterday, if I was in like
That's
a
good.
certain position, I was like nearly screaming, and like because it was so sore. It's like it's really
Dude,
bad.
get a massage.
I have one. I used it for like half an hour and then put deep heat on it and then took painkillers and it was still sore. It's like one of the sorest like tweaks or whatever I've ever had. It was really bad.
That is rough.
Yeah, I was like wincing
I
in
don't know what to
pain.
tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
Me neither.
Well, that's a good place to end it on Dan's back pain and shoulder pain.
And everything pain.
And Blink 182. Dan, you'll tell us about Blink 182 next time we talk.
Yes.
We've already started planning again. We didn't get lazy. we did this. We did do this on purpose, but no.
Okay, stop delaying.
Well, fine. Have a good day, everyone. Drink water. Live your best life. I've been Chad. This is my co-host Dan, and we are just finishing the Objectively Bad podcast. Bye.